they're off. And it's a good beginning for Soaring Free. Soaring Free now out to be the early leader from the far outside, Mr. O'Brien. Domestic Dispute is right there. Soaring Free takes the initiative. No one's running with him early. Whipper's up close, but under a hold toward the inside. Domestic Dispute is there. Special Ring is in between horses, just a bit off the lead, and in between horses while running along in fourth. Singletary gets a good spot early, drafting behind horses fifth. Silver Tree, a very good spot for him. He's sixth on the inside. Mr. O'Brien is seventh. Defending champion, Six Perfections, is now eighth. Artie Schiller now ninth toward the inside. Musical Chimes alongside him in 10th. Nothing to Lose is three wide, racing in 11th. Then it's Antonius Pius covered up in behind horses, followed by Diamond Dream. Black Dune is the last of them all. The pace is relatively soft, 24 seconds flat for the opening quarter, and the half in 48 and 3/5 seconds. That does augur well for the front runner, Soaring Free. Special Ring to the attack now as they move into the far turn. Whipper right there just in behind the lead. Domestic Dispute on the outside. He's third. Singletary still on hold. He's running along in fourth. Mr. O'Brien fifth on the outside. Six Perfections is only 5 lengths from the lead, but she's got 5 horses in front of her now. Silver Tree right there, ready to roll toward the inside. Nothing to Lose with a swooping move on the far outside of Black Dune, and they're off to turn into the stretch. Here's Singletary. Singletary with a blitz to the lead. Singletary in front. On the outside, a late charge coming from Antonius Pius, coming down to the finish. Singletary to catch. Antonius Pius veers in, and just as he did, he lost chance to beat Singletary. Singletary wins it by a neck over Antonius Pius. Six Perfections finished third. Well, a blitz coming off the turn, a perfect ride there for Singletary. David Flores, they get the job done. When it counted, Singletary bared down.
Yes, he did. Singletary bared down indeed. Going from a Breeders' Cup at Lone Star to now talking about Future Stars. What's the connection? I'm talking to my good friend, Billy Koch from Little Red Feather Racing. So what was that experience like? I'm sure you guys partied hard after that.
I think we should just watch that race just for the next 2 hours, right? The show's usually 2 hours. Ren?
Yeah, exactly. Well, you know what? We've beaten your record, by the way.
Oh, you have. You went over 2 hours. Well, here's the thing. I'm going to tell you a couple things. Number one, I was much younger. This little part of my beard was dark, and I was much thinner. So those were the differences between then and now. And it's funny though about this game, and you know this, and people in this game, I'm still learning. I mean, that was in 2004. So we're getting close to the point. We're almost at the 20-year anniversary, and I have my 20-year anniversary Little Red Feather hat. There's nothing I can really say about that day. It was like it put us on the map. It basically changed the course of my career and of Little Red Feather. So I owe everything a debt of gratitude to Don Chatlos, and you saw David Mia in that video, and obviously my business partner Gary was there. He wasn't even involved with Little Red Feather at that time, other than doing some legal work for us. And all the people, the original owners. In fact, we just lost one of the original owners who is still owning with us. Her name is Josephine Galley. She was just an unbelievable woman, and she was one of our first investors with Little Red Feather. And the last horse that she invested with in before she passed is Comanche Country.
Oh my goodness.
So yeah, we know that every time Comanche Country, I'm sure we're going to talk about her going to the Breeders' Cup, but we always kind of look up and know that Josephine's up there, riding her and getting her home. So she's 3 for 3. So Josephine, if you're listening to this, thank you very much. And we know you're up there with some great people from horse racing.
That's got me teared up legitimately. Yeah. Gosh, thanks. I don't know how.
It's a good way to start.
How do I transition from that? That's really.
We just go on with the show. That's what you would have wanted. So it's a special moment. I've seen that race more than any other race in my life, and I'm a psycho. Like I had a little bit of time the other day for whatever reason. I usually don't, and I sat and watched every single Breeders' Cup video of current horses. So I knew going into the Breeders' Cup this year kind of who they were and had a better visual cue of them. So I'm ready.
Oh,
I'm excited.
Yeah,
I'm pumped up, Ren. I'm like chomping at the bit to get this Breeders' Cup going.
Oh, well, yeah, same here. It's going to be so exciting. I love that it's here in Lexington because I'm in Lexington.
Of course, selfish.
Yeah, right. It makes it pretty easy. But yeah, I'm stoked. We've got A great card for Future Stars Friday, and of course, the highest rated horse in the world running on Saturday. So yeah,
He's
it's
pretty good.
it's going to be a loaded weekend for sure. But let's take it back for a moment and talk about wearing that 20-year hat. So founded in 2002. It's nuts because I remember pulling up this replay. In the back of my mind, I thought, okay, yeah, I'll ask him about 2004. That's 8 years ago, and I had to stop myself and say, no, it's 18 years.
Yeah,
it's nuts, right?
It's wild. Time flies, and credit really to all of the partners out there with Little Red Feather, because without them, and I tell them this all the time, and they don't want to listen, but it's because of them that we're able to do this. To be honest with you, this is all because we have great support. We have great support from the people who invest with us and who work with us, and we have just such a great group of trainers and bloodstock agents. And it's truly a team effort, and that's. I played college baseball way back in the day. I grew up playing sports, and you have to have a team. And we have over the years just developed this really good team, and credit to all of them. I sit back and enjoy it and have fun with it. And like I said, sit and watch videos all day and watch old Breeders' Cup videos. I consider myself kind of a Breeders' Cup historian.
I love it.
I just love it. It's my favorite 2 days of the year is Breeders' Cup. I can't get enough of it. I just love all the Euros that come in, and I love and I love having the best horses in our game all assemble at one place. It's as a fan, it's just the best.
Exactly, the World Championships. And you just mentioned how you played baseball. I love your little known fact on your website that you set the Northwestern Baseball School record for being hit by a pitch in a single season. True. Does that record still stand?
No, I think someone broke it, but I was that kind of player. I was just I had a little nasty streak in me, and I used to crowd the plate. And if you had 2 strikes on me and threw a curveball in the dirt, I was going to get hit. And it was very much appreciated by our team and very not appreciated by the other team. So I ended up getting hit a couple times on purpose, Ren. So that attributed to my record, and that's not a great record to have, Ren. I'd rather be like the hits leader or like home runs or something like that. I didn't have much power. I hit 3 home runs in my career at Northwestern. I have many friends that probably aren't watching this that will laugh at that. But I was scrappy.
I love it. Well,
yeah.
I mean, did you ever suffer a serious injury from getting hit?
Oh, no. Okay. They usually hit me in the back or in the butt, or in the ankle. Like I never had injury from being hit. Other injuries, yes, but not from being hit by a pitch. No.
Okay. Well, before we move back to the horse racing, any stake in the World Series or no?
I don't. I'm not a super fan of the Dodgers, but I was pretty disappointed to see them lose to the Pods. I kind of, since I'm down at Del Mar so much, I do, watch the Padres, and I'm very happy for them and their fan base. I thought that was an incredible series. The Phillies fan base is also. I'm kind of a National League guy. I would say that. So let's see who comes out of the National League and go from there.
Well, there you go.
I don't know. The Yankees game is probably on soon. I think it's on tonight.
I know. Well, that's why I asked you originally. I said, is there any reason why you wouldn't be able to come on? I don't know.
No. We're all good. Ren, you take precedent over anything that I could be doing.
I love that. But I also love the fact that your favorite movie is Gladiator, by the way. I know I said we were going to go to horse racing next, but I saw that and I can't because I have watched that movie more times than I could possibly count.
I didn't even know that was on there. I mean, I would say, that's one of them. Rocky, probably, the original. There's a lot. I'm a movie buff. I like pop culture. And then
sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. No.
I've got one more question also before we move on. Sure. Because it says your favorite drink is the Real Awesome. And not that I'm a big drinker anyway, but I cannot say that I've ever even heard of that before. So.
Well, the true story behind the Awesome is that I was at the Kentucky Derby the year, I think it was Street Sense or Barbaro. I can't remember off the top of my head. And I was there with my friend Eric Winston, who was an offensive lineman for, at the time, I believe he played for Houston. Not 100% sure. He also played for Cincinnati, I believe. And we went to stand in line to get drinks at the Derby. And it was a long line, and we waited to get up there. And I said, "Hey, man, what do you want?" And he's 6'7", about 350 at the time. He's a big dude. Winst is the man. And we share the same birthday too, which is fun.
Aw.
And he said, I said, what can I get you? And he said, get me like vodka and put a splash of soda in there and maybe some cranberry juice. So I went up there and I ordered that. I said, can I have a vodka with a splash of soda and a splash of crème? She said, do you want a double? I said, of course. Yes, we want a double. And the lady proceeds to give me this like really big, cup.
Oh
And I wanted 2 of those, and I moved it over to the side for Wince, and Wince just took it and just chugged it. And this was like a big drink.
Yeah.
And he slammed it down and he goes, that's awesome. And I said, all right, give me 3 more awesomes, because we could only take 2 apiece. So that became the awesome. We kept going back and ordering awesomes. Now it's at Del Mar on the veranda. You could, where I sit at Del Mar, you can go and order an awesome. It's very simple. It's a double vodka with a splash of soda, splash of cran, 2 lemons.
Okay.
That's the key to the awesome, is you have to have 2 lemons, and they need to be fresh. So that's an awesome. It's a great drink if you're just hanging out in the summer and it's a beautiful day out at Del Mar and you have an awesome.
Well, the next time.
And they're awesome.
The next time I go to Del Mar, I am ordering one for sure.
Yeah, of course.
It sounds great to me.
They're going to try to push you on the Del Margarita. Don't go for it.
No, I can get a margarita anytime. I'm going to go for the real awesome.
Yeah.
So let's talk about something that is awesome. What a great day you had, October 9th. So Nagirroc, he wins the win, and you're in Futurity at Belmont. What is it?
Belmont at the Big A, I think.
Yeah, Belmont at the Big A.
Yeah.
Back. And he was coming up a win by 3.5 lengths at this, Belmont at the Big A, their maiden special week. Now, that was his first start since being moved to the Grand Motion barn after you guys went ahead and privately purchased him, I'm assuming, from his former owner, that's Jim Corrigan, and that's the name backward. So
correct.
Tell us what it was about him on that debut in which he finished second, beating a length and 3/4 there at Indiana Grand over the good going, that you guys thought, hey, this is a horse we want in our stable.
Yeah, credit goes to John Panagot. John works with Madicat Stables, Saul Cumin. He also is the jockey agent for Manny Franco, and I believe he's going to take over the book of Florent Giroux shortly. And we've done a lot of work with John and with Saul, and they're a great organization. We own a bunch of horses together, including Balnikov. And I just got an email from John, and he said, hey, we're looking at this horse. This is one that we really like. What do you think? And I pulled up the replay of the race, and he was so green, and he was really wide, and he made this big run late. And I said, absolutely. And the price was right. It wasn't inexpensive, but it wasn't expensive. They priced him to sell. And so at the same time, they also contacted my good friend Bill Strauss, and we just all kind of pieced it together. And the 3 of us went in, and we moved him to Graham Motion. And within days of him showing up at Graham Motion's barn, Graham said, this horse is really classy. I like this horse. And Graham is very, very honest. I don't know if you've ever had him on the show or dealt with him, but he is one of those guys.
Him before, not on here. Yeah,
he's one of those guys that's going to tell you, like, if he doesn't kind of like the horse, you're gonna know about it. He doesn't pull punches. He's great. So he said, I think I'm going to run this horse in this maiden race at Belmont at the Big A. And he was so impressive that day. He made the lead so easily and kind of drew off, ran a big number. And it was funny because I talked to Graham right after the race, and he said, we were talking, we were excited, and Graham was like, man, I knew he'd run well, but I didn't think he'd run that well. And he said, but I kind of had a feeling he'd run well, and I nominated him to the 2-turn, or it might be 1-turn at Aqueduct, I don't know, the long kind of 2-year-old turf prep race for the Breeders' Cup, which was either a week later, 2 weeks later, whatever. And I said, what about the sprint? And he goes, I didn't even think to nominate him to the sprint. And it was really funny. And I said, give me a second. I happened to have the book up on my computer, and I said, well, nominations closed today. It was the day he ran. So Graham literally hung up on me, nominated him, called me back. He goes, okay, he's nominated. So, and that's not Graham's style to run back on really short rests like that either. The horse just told him he was doing really well. And credit to Graham for taking the shot. Again, credit to John Panagot and Team Madicat for finding this horse and bringing us in. And it's been a wild ride. He's 2 for 2. And, in that race, I've done some studying. Obviously, if the Platinum Queen...
I have the replay here. Do you want the replay up now? And
you replay it whenever you want.
Yeah,
Whenever,
you can
Ren, this
tackle
is your show, not mine.
Well, you can talk us through it because you're
sure.
replay guru.
I'm certainly not a guru by any chance. I just watch races.
But isn't it wonderful though how easy and accessible it is now with different programs like Formulator? I mean, before, if you wanted to replay, you needed to call the racetrack library.
No, yeah, it's great. YouTube is phenomenal as well.
Yes,
and RTN.
Yes. So let's see here, pulling up.
And racingtv.com for the Euros.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, look at this. So we knew there was a lot more speed in this race going in, but he was inside. So we just, Graham, I talked to Graham for the race and he said he's just going to leave it up to Manny. And you can see him kind of shoving on him a little bit here, and just the horse, he's like I said, he's really classy. He kind of do anything he wants. And Manny just put him in that perfect pocket trip. When you're especially on the turf, and if you talk to some of the best turf trainers and turf jockeys, I know you have Flavien Prat coming up on your show maybe next week.
Yeah.
They will tell you that pocket trip, saving ground, is the most important thing. And they didn't go too fast. If you look at the quarter was 22:09. And you look right here, and every time Manny kind of pushes on him, the horse goes. So it's like now he stops and now he goes. And so he has a lot of horse right here. And when you're watching a race like this, you're like, oh, Manny, please get out of there.
Yeah. Right.
And finally, he saw daylight right here. And you can see he starts, as soon as he switches his leads, he starts to lengthen his stride and gradually wears down. This horse is only his third start. And I've seen things on message boards. Oh, I didn't think the field was too good, or the time wasn't that great. But these 2-year-olds improve leaps and bounds. And you could see, I mean, he has this kind of will to win. I mean, the other horses were coming at him. There's 5 on the wire. You always, people say, well, there's 5 on the wire. It might not have been that great of a race. They're all young. They're 2-year-olds. And I think I think if Manny wanted to, he probably could have been up closer if he wanted to and made the lead if he wanted to. But he's teaching this horse something. He's got a lot of class. The Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf Sprint is going to be a really, really good race. The Europeans, I mentioned her, the Platinum Queen. If she comes over, she's really fast. Speedboat Beach is really fast. There's the little horse Tyler's Tribe from Iowa is fast. There's going to be some really, really good horses. If I left anybody out, I don't have my notes in front of me. But the horse that won at Keeneland, I forgot. I had the guy on my podcast the other day. Listen to the Owner's Box on In the Money Media Network. He told a great story about his horse with Steve Asmussen. So I think it's going to be a fun race. I don't think there's a Golden Pal in it this year from the last time we were at Keeneland. Last year, the winner actually of last year's Breeders' Cup Turf Sprint at Del Mar ran yesterday at Keeneland, or the day, I'm sorry, over the weekend. Maybe it was Sunday. Didn't win that day, but it's going to be a really interesting race. I like the fact that Nagirroc showed the ability to come off the pace, because I think he's going to need to in the Breeders' Cup. And I think you're going to probably get somewhere in the 15-1 range, I would guess, with an improving horse trained by Graham Motion, who obviously can get it done. And I think he's an intriguing long shot in that race to at least get a slice. We're going to go into the Breeders' Cup with our expectations at a moderate level, because not too high, not too low. That's my theory. Just kind of try to stay in the middle, get excited if good things happen, and you got to enjoy it. And I talked to someone the other day about that, because I was like, man, we're going to be up against it in the Breeders' Cup. All our horses, we're probably going to be in that 10 to 20-1 range. And the person said, hey, you got there. And for our partners to be able to go to the Breeders' Cup with a horse, with a chance, not some crazy long shot, but this horse has a legitimate shot to at least hit the board. That's what it's all about. That's why that's why our partners are in this game, to be a part of these big days. So we're really excited about Nagirroc. And again, our partners in the horse are phenomenal. Bill Strauss is one of my closest friends, and Saul Kuman and Madikit they do such a great job. They put their horses in the right place. They let the trainers do their jobs, and they just find good horses. Saul's been he's done very well in this game with limited time. I mean, he's not like he's been in the game for 30 years. So kudos to all them, and looking forward to a great Keeneland.
Yeah, definitely. And we have some viewers watching. Roshan is saying Private Creed is maybe the horse you're
Private
thinking
Creed,
of.
yes, yes.
Who won at Keeneland. I think Love Reigns is another horse.
Yep,
We
Love
may be
Reigns. They
looking.
skipped the race for Wesley Ward. That horse is really good, really fast. They're going to go fast. They're going to cook.
Did you ever consider? I mean, he looks very speedy, but did you consider at all going the mile?
We did. In fact, as I mentioned, Graham Motion was
Right.
thinking the
Well, we said
mile
right.
anyway, but because he ran so well and he's won 2 sprints, and you go to that mile, all of a sudden you're running against Charlie Appleby, you're running against those other Europeans. I actually think and I have not done too much studying. I just said I watched some replays, but that Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf, which is the mile, is going to be super tough. I think the Euros are going to be really, really tough in there. So I think it's kind of like pick your poison, and he's already proven he can sprint. So why try to go into that race when, we have plenty of time to try to stretch him out next year.
And I did love the professionalism he showed, because when you're talking about being in that pocket trip, well, it's one thing to say the pocket trip for a horse who's 3-4 years old. It's a whole different ballgame for a 2-year-old to be there behind horses on the rail the way in which he was, not be climbing, getting anxious, just biding his time. It would not be my show, of course, if I didn't give a shout out to the pedigree, because he has some sneaking, really good pedigree. So son of Grade 1 winning multimillionaire and Claiborne stallion Lee. Final start for Lee, by the way, was that run-up performance to Liam's Matheson
at Keeneland.
In the dirt mile, but still, he was very versatile. Then the dam here, Emma Spencer, Irish bred. She's by Group 3 winner, multiple Group 1 place. Zamindar, who was himself a full brother to 1992's champion 2-year-old across the pond, Zaphonic. Emma Spencer, she's a half sister to Group 1 placed runners Johann Strauss, was second in the Racing Post Trophy, and Mythical, who was third in the Criterium de St. Cloud. The extended family also includes 2010's Sovereign champion grassmare Miss Keller and 2016 St. Ledger victor Harbor Law. So a very, very nice pedigree with Group and Grade 1 class. So I think this is a horse that we definitely have to keep our eye on. The owner before obviously thought highly of him to put his own name on the horse. Was there any resistance to it's kind of named?
Don't like the name. We've that's only happened once in our lives, and I'm not even going to go into that. But no, he named it after himself, and good for him. He spelled it backwards. We've kind of had fun with it. We've been saying "Welcome to the Rock." ROC from the actual movie The Rock. We have Welcome to the Rock hats being made for the Breeders' Cup, so hopefully you'll see those around. It's you have to kind of have fun with it. And Nagirroc, and I said to Panagot before he ran the first time, I said, "Were we going to call him the Rock or the Nag?" And he said, "Well, we're going to find out real quick."
Yes, he has earned the distinction of being the Rock and not the Nag.
That's right.
But it is kind of funny because it does sound so strong. It sounds very Viking-esque, like that they name a ship after that. At first, I didn't know though, because listening to the actual race call back, and Imbriel says at the end there, Nagirroc or Corrigan backwards.
Yes.
For whatever reason, I hadn't gone back and looked at the full PPs to go, oh yeah, of course, the Corrigan in question was.
Well, now you have, Ren. Look at how much more knowledgeable you are now.
Exactly. I just thought maybe
incredible.
It was a Smashing Pumpkins thing. I don't know. Billy Corrigan. I don't know. But
there you go.
Lazy Dog, by the way, is saying woof woof from California. He is a regular viewer. Thank you so much for tuning in.
What is woof woof? What does that mean?
That's just his thing. Like, Lazy Dog.
Does that mean he's just watching and it's like kind of like woof woof? Okay,
yeah, it's not a woof woof at me or you. No worries.
Oh, okay. What's up, Lazy Dog? Exactly. I have 2 lazy dogs sleeping behind me.
There you go. Mike here is saying nice teeth. I don't know.
That's got to be for you, not for me. No, that's not for me. My teeth are not nice. No.
Wanda, God bless you all. Thank you so much, Wanda.
Thank you,
that's
Wanda.
very kind.
Thank
you, of course, like I said, we also already had Roshan chime in and helping along with
yes, thank you, Roshan.
Rekindling the memory of Private Creed.
Yes.
So, okay. Now let's talk about you're in that horse's birth was one there, but you're also in with a filly who, just by virtue of her awesomeness and being 3 for 3 since being imported, is going to be contesting the Juvenile Fillies Turf. We got to talk about Comanche Country. This filly, She's just very exciting. How, first of all, did you get wind of her to bring her over here? Because she originally debuted over in Ireland. She got beat just a nose on debut.
Yeah.
And then in her second start, she was seventh, but let's consider that the winner there was Meditate. And that horse, Meditate went on to win the Group 3 Albany out of there at Ascot.
Yep.
And she won the Group 2 Debutante Stakes at the Curragh. And she most recently put 2 back-to-back runner-up performances in first to Tahira in the Group 1 Montclair Stud Stakes, and then to Lazoo in the Group 1 Chevrolet Park at Newmarket. So that's like a
really good race. Yeah, actually, the truth is, we were brought this horse by Niall Dalton, who does a lot of work for us in the European market. He actually also brought us Gold Phoenix, who's going to end up in the Breeders' Cup Turf this year, due to his due to his Del Mar Handicap win this summer. So we've done a lot of work with Niall. We've had great success. Niall and his whole team. Always they bring us really nice horses, and they brought us Comanche Country after she lost by a nose, and we bought her.
Oh, okay.
And the trainer, when you buy a European, it takes some time to get them out here. You pull bloods, you do all kinds of crazy stuff. You have to wait for the plane. So there was that race 2 weeks later, and the trainer actually asked us, she said, look, she's doing really well right now. Can we run in the race in the stake? Okay. And we said, sure, go ahead. We talked to Phil D'Amato. Phil gave us his blessing, and we said, sure, go ahead and run her. And obviously it didn't work out, but we took a shot. They made some silks for us. They kind of looked like our Little Red Feather silks. Was pretty cool. And it didn't work out. It was disappointing, I'll be honest. And it was a little bit, did we make a good purchase here? Because she wasn't really competitive. We didn't know at that time how good that race was. And when we brought her out here, kind of everyone just fell in love with her. She is this, we call her the alien. We don't know what's going through her mind, but Jessica Pfeiffer rides her on a daily basis, and she goes to the barn, and Jessica says she's just chasing butterflies. She's just looking around. She wants to kick other horses when they walk by her. She's tried to drop Jess like 5 times. And, but the second she gets on the track into her bit, she's all business. Oh, nice. But she's kind of like, I have to be careful what I say these days with the cancel culture. But just imagine that she does the funniest stuff. Like after she won for 2 or 3 days, she just stuck her butt. I don't know if you saw my picture on Twitter, but she stuck her butt out like no one could even go near her. She was like, I just don't want to talk to anybody right now. That's just her. And she's not the biggest filly in the world. She's very Euro looking, and she's just done nothing wrong. That's what's been amazing about her. In her 3 starts, when we brought her over, she broke her maiden really impressively. I think ran down a really good horse that day, another maiden, and it was kind of those two pulling away. Then we run her in the stake at the end of Del Mar, and she has the exact same trip. Rispoli just fits her like a glove. Okay.
I have that. Oh, and you know what? We're going to have the Battle Italiano because apparently Frankie Dettori is going to be riding the winner of the Datoma last call.
Oh, there you go.
The Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies Turf. So that'll be fun.
Yeah, Rispoli really fits her well. He just gets along with her. And it's funny because she is, if you watch her races, she's tactical enough to get the spot that Rispoli wants to get. This was a large field, as you could see. She was the favorite. No, actually, she wasn't the favorite this day. They bet Phil D'Amato's other filly down, and they bet the gray filly down. I think she was probably, I think she might have been third choice, but she's got the big white face. You see her number 7, and you see how quick she is out of the gate. She's right there with the leaders, and just watch. Rispoli doesn't really have to do much except drop into that perfect spot. And that's, we've talked about that already when we watched Nagirroc, but she was 2-1. She was the co-favorite in here. Yeah. But look at the spot that Rispoli gets. He's tracking. He's in 5th. Doesn't quite get down to the rail. The other horse got in there first, but he's too wide. You can't fault him for that. And he just puts her in an ideal spot. And she just literally out there, she just relaxes. And that's the sign of a good horse, and especially a 2-year-old that can do that, that doesn't pull, that isn't nervous, that can be inside. Here, she's in the clear. A lot of times when you bring Europeans over and they get in the clear, it's not great. You want them covered up. Usually those Euros, they have that turn of foot, and that's what this filly has. And that's what you look for when you buy them too, is that turn of foot that they can use in our American racing. Critics will say that her 3 races, she hasn't beaten anybody. We're going to hear that throughout the next 2 weeks, which is
know.
absolutely fine. They're saying SoCal turf horses have no chance, and that's fine too. And look, again, like we said, but look at Rispoli once he asks her, and she has to go wide here, and she just, you know, it's funny too, right here. Same thing about switching leads. Watch when she switches leads. It's a little late, maybe right here, but when he taps her,
right there,
bam, she switches leads and just accelerates. And you can see her just pulling away pretty easy. The filly that she beat this day came back and gave her another challenge in the Surfer Girl, which was her next start,
which I have,
which we can watch as well. And the funny thing is, it's almost the identical trip. A lot of people will say, look, oh, she had a perfect trip when she broke her maiden. She had a perfect trip here. She had a perfect trip in the Surfer Girl. But that's true. But I'm a big believer in also that horses make their trips. So if you have enough tactical speed to get into the position that you want, or you have enough turn of foot to get through the hole you want, that's what a jockey needs. That's, you know, look, it takes a perfect trip to win races a lot of the time. So you can't complain that a horse had a perfect trip. Now, if you want to bet against someone that had a perfect trip last time because you think they're not going to have a perfect trip next time, that's perfectly acceptable and probably wise. This filly's just done nothing wrong, and we expect her to get a similar type trip. And it's going to come down to if she handles Keeneland, which I think she will. She's real smart. She's not kind of, you know, she is an alien, but she's not kooky. She just kind of beats to her own drum, but she's not stupid. That's what I should say. She's not stupid. She is a little kooky, but she's not stupid. You'll see here, same type of thing where Rispoli just breaks well, puts her in the spot that he wants, which is covered up this time around. The horse in the lime green is the filly that ran second last time. And you can see I actually am friendly with Brian Corner, who trains that filly, Sell the Dream, who's a really nice filly. And Brian, we talked about the race actually after it happened. And Brian said, I wanted him to kick clear. I wanted him to pull away from you. I just can't get away from you. It was really funny. He was very funny. But you can see right here, she's just cruising at her own pace. They did go pretty fast. 22-3 for 2-year-old fillies going a mile is a nice setup for a horse that wants to come from behind. I don't know what the half was. I'm assuming it was like 47. I think it was 47-1.
Yeah, 47-1. Yep.
Yeah. So they slowed it down a little bit right there, and you can see Rispoli has a ton of horse. He's just sitting, being patient, hasn't really even moved a muscle. He's just getting her into the right position because he knows he's going to try to follow the 2 horse. And interesting that Phil D'Amato's other horse, the 8 right here, Excelia, she had run 3rd in the race we just watched. She kind of didn't have it this day, but Rispoli goes by her and then swings Comanche Country out wide for the stretch run, and she does the same thing. It's almost like a mirror image of the previous race. She switched much earlier this time, which was good. She's learning, and as soon as Rispoli goes to the stick, she really responds and runs down a very stubborn Sell the Dream. Is also owned by my friend Rusty Brown. Yeah. So big win for our crew and for Comanche, and Phil D'Amato has just done a tremendous job. He's just dominating the turf out in Southern California, and one of my very good friends. I'm so proud of the work that he's done and his team have done, and so happy for our partners that they get to go to the Breeders' Cup with this filly. She's undefeated in America. She's the same type of thing I said about Nagirroc. I think she'll be in that 10 to 15-1 range. You know, if she gets she's going to run. She's going to try. She always does. We don't know the weather forecast in Kentucky yet, so we don't know what the track's going to be like. I think she actually appreciates the little harder turf course we've had in Southern California. So if it's a big bog, which it very well may be, we don't know. I think it was snowing in Kentucky this morning, but she's going to try. She's going to give it her best, and there's some really, really nice fillies that are going to be in that race too. The Europeans are coming with some nice horses, and it ain't going to be easy, but it'll be fun. There's a filly named Blue Rose Sen, C-E-N. Yeah. I call her Blue Rose Ren, actually.
Oh, okay.
No, she is. I watched her races. She is something, and she's coming over. If she comes over, she's likely favorite. There was another filly called Commissioning. That is off the Breeders' Cup website for some reason. I don't know. Maybe she's not coming. That's a Gosden filly that's also tremendous. I'm sure the Euros are going to have a big say in the outcome of the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies Turf.
Well,
and I'll stop talking now.
No. I mean, but you're so right. Obviously, we do look at them more than we look at the horses who are coming in domestically. But to give your filly a lot of credit. What I see from her, the body language from her is if a horse is just waiting their turn to be told, yeah, you can go now. I almost feel like that you could have gotten more out of her if you had needed to. You just didn't need to. She did what she needed to win there, but I feel like had she been asked, she could have even put forward even a bigger effort, because she just looks like she is really and truly waiting for her moment. Like, okay, can I go yet? Can I go yet?
She does. I'm sure that's probably what she's thinking. We laugh about it, about what is going through her mind, because there's so much in there. But like, she's been so professional. Once she steps foot on the racetrack, nothing bugs her. She puts herself in the right spot. She gets along with Rispoli, and he, like I said, you can't listen. If you're going to knock her, it's look, she's beaten up on weak Southern California horses. That's one knock you can say. Her numbers aren't the fastest in the world. That's 2 knocks. We don't know how she'll ship to Keeneland, but she is a Euro. So,
and she's by one of my favorite horses.
Oh, Highland Reel.
Highland Reel. How do you not love Highland Reel? I mean,
you have to love. If you don't like Highland Reel, there's something wrong with you.
I know. I don't want to be your friend if you don't like Highland Reel.
No, me neither.
He earned over $10.5 million. What is he, like a 7-time Grade 1?
Yeah, the Breeders' Cup at Santa Anita when he beat Flint. What was his name? What was the big Juddmonte horse? Flintshire. Right, and Highland Reel just opened up on him. I mean, Highland Reel was ridiculous. And yeah, it was really neat. And that's one of the things that was interesting. A lot of times with private purchases, you have to look at pedigree a little bit, right? But most of the time they've kind of proven who they are, what they are. But this filly should be able to go longer being by Highland Reel. You'll probably give me a whole dissertation on her bottom side of her family that I really much look forward to.
Yes.
But Highland Reel was special.
Oh, gosh, yes. And he's over there at Coolmore, Ireland. And if I'm ever in Ireland and able to go see him, I'm going to go do that. I love the globe trotting. This horse didn't need his one course. He could run anywhere. And when he 100%. Did lose, he was losing to Found when he lost the Arc. But then he again turned the tables later, winning the Breeders' Cup Turf. It's actually funny. I was in the elevator going down, and there were there's a very, beautifully dressed couple in the elevator, and I could see that they were wearing owners badges, and I said, "Oh, who do you have in the Breeders' Cup?"
Highland Reel.
He's like,
and
Highland
Ren
Reel
passes out. Yeah, Highland Reel and Found. Ren's like, "Oh, good."
I'm just like, "Oh my gosh, I'm a total idiot."
This is a kids show, so I can't say what Ren did. Yeah, Ren just passed out.
Exactly. But no, they were very nice. But yeah, I felt pretty stupid. But that being said, really a tremendous horse right there, and that's the daddy. The mom here, Honey Hunter by Shamar Doll.
Another really good horse.
That was it's too bad that he didn't really get to, because he died early.
Yeah.
So who knows what else he would have produced as a stud, but or sired as a stud. But just he himself, that pedigree being by Giant's Causeway, and then Shamar Doll's out of full sister to Street Cry. And then the second dam here, Ancient Art by Monson. She's a half sister to stakes winner Sixth Sense, Lake Toya. Lake Toya went on to produce Sebetsu, who was winner of the Prix Saint Alari, so that's a Group 1 winner. Another of Ancient Art's half sisters, that's Snowpine. Snowpine produced Tower of London, who won the Group 1 Sprinter Stakes. And then the second dam, Shinko Hermes by Sadler's Wells, full sister to Imagine, who won the 2001 Epsom Oaks.
We knew all this when we bought her. We knew everything. Ren is my pedigree expert. So
yes, and then she's also the half.
I'm going to tape this and use this when she, knock on wood, wins a big race or graded stake, and we're going to take this tape to Keeneland or Facig and use this as the sales tool.
Well, there you go. Exactly. Yeah. But not only do an Epsom Oaks winner in there, but Shinko Hermes, also a half sister to Generous. Generous was Horse of the Year across the pond back in 1991. Won the Epsom Derby and the Irish Derby.
You're gonna ruin our odds.
I know, right? But you're so. But
I'm telling you, for those people, I'm telling you, for those people who, if you're at Keeneland, you have to just watch this filly. Watch her when she goes to the track. Watch her. She'll be there, the week of. I'm sure you'll be able to see her. She's just very sweet. She's very cute. She's got this big white face, and just know that she's like, they're 2-year-olds. She's like a teenage girl who's just dreaming, who's just, Actually, yeah. Looking at butterfly. That's what Jessie calls it. Chasing butterflies. She's like an alien. We tell her that she's.
That's
Who
so
knows what she's
endearing,
thinking?
though.
Yeah.
Now,
No, she's really special. She's cool.
Well, before we wrap up, is there anything we need to know that's happening in the Little Red Feather universe that we didn't already go over here?
Yeah.
What's happening with the podcast? Whatever you want to talk about.
Sure. Oh, well, no, we have 3 yearlings that we have limited shares left. Really nice yearlings. Ren knows all about them. I actually asked her advice with some pedigree stuff. A yearling filly by Kitten's Joy. We're not going to be a lot of those left. We have a yearling colt by Flatter. There's not going to be a lot of those left. And then a yearling filly by Blame. So really exciting times. They're all in Ocala right now, doing great, getting broken. Hopefully we see them next year at Del Mar. If anybody's out there and wants to get involved with Little Red Feather, just look me up. I'm not really hard to find. At BKLRF on Twitter. Billy at littleredfeather.com is my email address. Feel free to email me anytime. It's really cool. Our team has done a great job in finding nice horses. We had a yearling winner 2 weeks ago, Horace Mann, who we bought as a yearling from Stone Farm. Twirling Candy went wire to wire. Looks like a really, really nice horse. We have an Arrogate 2-year-old that hasn't started yet. That is also really, really nice. His name is Beverly Vista. And so just, you never stop learning. You started the show at the Breeders' Cup. I promise you, I knew nothing about horse racing at that time. I'd grown up in the business, but I really didn't know about ownership. And you continue to learn. This game will humble you. That's why it's so great. The highs are so high. The lows are so low. We talk about it all the time. This game is hard. It is a roller coaster. All the stuff you hear is true. But it's also incredibly rewarding. And to get to the Breeders' Cup with 3 horses for our company and for all our partners, it means so much. This is our goal. This is our destination. This is what we want to do. Now we just have to go and kick the door in. And unfortunately, that's going to be hard. but we're gonna try. We're gonna go there. You know what? Like you said, we're gonna have fun and we're gonna enjoy the experience, because that's part of it too. Really make sure I tell people this. I have a podcast that Ren referred to. It's called The Owner's Box. It's on the In the Money Media Network. I host with Michelle Yu, who's great and it's incredibly hardworking. And we talk to a lot of owners, and we let the owners tell their stories. And every time it keeps coming up just how hard this game is and how many times they failed before they finally succeeded. And, I mentioned Bill Strauss earlier with Hot Rod Charlie and the ride he's been on. It's the time of his life. I mean, literally, he's brought his family and his friends from college to these races. And that's what this game is about. It is about the experience. And that's what we sell. That's what we enjoy, and we make it fun for our partners. And to win one of these races would be out of control. I don't know what's going to happen. That just might be it. I might just hang them up after.
Well, just wait for me once you come back out of the champagne room if you win, because I have to collect the winners' interviews for our little social features that we put out after the fact.
I hope you are grabbing me. I just can't wait for you to go, you won. I can't believe you predicted this. I did not predict this. I want everybody to know I'm being very realistic this year. I wish I could just come out and say, yeah, we're going to win.
Oh my gosh.
I didn't want to do that. You know what? When you played the Singletary piece, there was a horse named Whipper in that race. I think he was from France. And we were staying at the same hotel as his owners. And I'll never forget the night before the race, they were so confident in their horse. And there was something really good about it. They were like, you watch out for Weeper. He is the best horse. And I mean, they were so confident that this horse was going to win. And we were just like, hey, let's go get another drink. I mean, we were 16-1. No one really gave us a chance. But it goes to show you, I mean, anything can happen in these races. That's why they run them. So I've seen big favorites lose before.
Yep.
I've seen upsets, and we're going to go give it a hell of a shot. But
we saw a whole lot of upsets this past weekend. Are you kidding?
Yeah, we did.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So it's going to be great. I look forward to it. I can't wait to see you and all the Kentuckyites. I'm going to have some fun that week, and I know it's going to be a great time.
Well, before I let you go, I'm sorry, I have to do this.
Oh God, what did I do?
Well, you have to confirm or deny if you actually did this.
Okay.
Can you confirm or deny the identity of this child is you?
Oh yes, that is me. Confirmed. That is me in Airplane. I was my grandfather who produced it, Howard W. Koch, who also we named Little Red Feather for. Called me randomly one day and said, can I have a picture of you? And I didn't know what it was for. And I sent him my 2nd grade headshot This was I had cut my own bangs in this picture.
Fabulous.
And so in Airplane, I am the boy who was trapped in the refrigerator who ate his own foot. That's my picture. That's Larry Colmus's favorite movie. He will be announcing the Breeders' Cup. Just got named today that he will also be at Del Mar Fall, which is exciting. We're big Larry Colmus fans. We look forward to seeing him. And that is me, Ren. Thank you for bringing that up.
That's awesome. Matt Carothers loves that movie as well. I've watched that movie so many times with my dad because
we should name a horse Ham on 5, Hold the Mayo.
There you go. I mean, come on, why not, right?
Yeah,
but yeah, I had to do that.
There had to be a horse named Don't Call Me Shirley, right?
You know what? I don't know if there has been,
yeah.
but
my grandfather had buttons that said "Don't Call Me Shirley." It was amazing.
Well, I love it. I think some way, somehow, you got to bring it back into the pop culture jargon. But to wrap this up, I thought, what better way, since Comanche Country again is a daughter of Highland Reel, than to show the 2016 Longines Breeders' Cup Turf. And then you are free to go.
All right. Ren, this was only 45 minutes. I was ready for 2 hours. I didn't even need a pee break.
I know, right? Your bladder is fine.
I'm totally good. My mom's watching too. Hi, Mom.
Oh my gosh, I met your mom. Everybody, his mom, Rita, amazing. I love her. Like, you love at first sight.
She loved the sale. She loved the sale. That was one of her highlights of her existence.
Is she coming out for Breeders' Cup?
No, she's not going to make it for Breeders' Cup. But that's a lot of stuff. That's a lot of work.
Somebody slid a question right before I was about to hit play on that. Question regarding Nagirroc. Do you think
Blackbeard and the Blackbeard? I think they have to run the race. I think that pace is going to come down. That race is going to really come down to pace. The Platinum Queen is really, really fast. There's some other speed balls in there, so it depends on how fast they go early. Blackbeard is obviously an awesome horse if he comes over. I think I would give all the Euros and all the grass races the edge. But we're going to go there and try. So I think he has an outside shot. If there's a pace meltdown and they all come and try to get him late, I think he's going to be one of the ones that's running late.
Okay, well, there you go. We're going to have to wait and see. Yeah, thank you. And we're going to have to wait and see what those actual pre-entries are. It's always interesting to see which Euros are actually confirmed to come over. I do believe Nick Luck put out a tweet earlier outlining who's coming over for Charlie Appleby for sure. So
just stay away from him because that guy's really good.
The statistics are nuts.
It's crazy. He's so good. It's ridiculous.
And
all right, 47 minutes. Is this? Am I gone? Do I have to watch the Highland Reel and then leave, or do I say goodbye?
No, you are free to go do what you need to do. Everybody, my very special guest, Billy Koch, Little Red Feather. Thank you so much. We're going to close out this edition of the Future Stars Friday, or actually Tuesday, but it's the Future Stars forecast. Talking about the Future Stars Friday horses. We're going to close it out here with the 2016 Longines Breeders' Cup Turf featuring Highland Reel, who is the sire of Comanche Country.
Yeah, good. And my mom said, hi, Ren, I'm watching.
Mwah! Tell her she raised a great son, or she's listening, so she heard me say
she's listening. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you. Good luck, everybody, in the Breeders' Cup. LittleRedFeather.com. Go check it out.
Check it out. Here we go.
Oh, now I'm going to have to watch. Because I'm still on the screen. What am I going to do?
I'll take us both out. Bye, everybody.
Okay. Bye, everybody.
They're off in the Breeders' Cup Turf. And Ecto comes out running on the lead. Ashley Love Sugar is away running in second. And there goes Highland Reel to the outside. And he's intent on the lead. And Highland Reel will take over as the field races down that hill. Highland Reel in front. Ecto is running in second position. Ashley Love Sugar, third on the outside by another 2.5. Then Money Multiplier. Flincher is fifth early on. He's down on the inside. Money Multiplier, a little bit hard to control there. He's very headstrong. Then it's Twilight Eclipse. Ulysses to the outside. Rallis and the Big Hoss. Found finds herself about 15 lengths off of her stablemate. And then comes Mondelist on the inside in Texas Rayano. The first quarter was slow, 24 and 4/5 seconds for Highland Reel. Highland Reel, the leader by 2.5 as they race past the stands for the first time. Ecto is hard in hand in second. On the outside is Ashley Love Sugar, third by 3. And they're followed by Money Multiplier and his stablemate Flincher to the inside, who is a covered up fifth and 7 lengths off the lead after a 48 flat half mile. So it has been an easy tempo for Highland Reel up front. And then it's Twilight Eclipse, Ulysses, Mondelist on the inside, found in between horses. Rallis is next, and then the Big Hoss and Texas Rayano.
So it's been advantage Highland Reel so far. Seamus Heffernan has had an easy pace here with Highland Reel onto the backstretch. The first 3 quarters up in 1:12 and 3. They've got a 3.5 length lead. Ecto is running in second. Ashley Love Sugar and Gary Stevens on the outside of Javier Castellano and Flincher, who are now 9 lengths off the lead as Highland Reel's rolling up front here. Highland Reel's trying to put him away right now. He's opened up 8 lengths on the field, racing for the far turn. They're going at it right now. Highland Reel, all alone, 8 lengths in front of Ecto and Ashley Love Sugar. Flincher is now being asked to quicken, and he's moving up. He's within 9 lengths of the lead, but Highland Reel's out there by himself as they're coming to the top of the stretch, and he's under a full out drive, and they're into the stretch in the Breeders' Cup Turf. Highland Reel, 6 in front of Flincher, who's got a furlong to run him down. Found is back there running in 5th. 16th to go. Highland Reel by 4. Flincher cutting into the gap, but he's running out of time. Highland Reel by 3. Highland Reel is a Breeders' Cup champion. And then it was Flincher. He was second best today. Found was third. A photo for 4th. It may have gone to Ashley Love Sugar.